Hello everyone. This is Nambernan once again bringing to you a Bo3 match. So today's Bo3 is going to be between one true Lycan and Zukushiku. Zukushiku has brought Ice and Lycan has brought Fighting. Fighting is a pretty good type in Gen 5, at least that's what I've heard. And it should have a pretty decent matchup against Ice, because obviously it can click buttons and do all sorts of fun stuff. But let's see what sets might be in a run. So, Bomb Snow comes in, sets the Hail. The permanent chip damage is definitely going to be annoying if he's Sash Breloom, but I feel like most of them aren't Sash in this generation. It's very possible that Lycan could be Toxic Heal. Yeah, Poison Heal Breloom here, because that is a more common set in Gen 5 I've found, and also in other older generations. But yeah, rocks are now down on both sides, and heavy duty boots does not exist. So now we're just waiting for the chip damage to start racking in. So this is a pretty hard play for Lycan right now, because he doesn't know if Kyurem is Scarf or not, so he sacks his Breloom on the Fusion Bolt, which is a really good play. And he is Toxic Heal, which is very good. Well, not sure if it's very good in this situation, because he kind of wants to get that Oko on Kyurem, but unfortunately, I don't think he will be getting that. Assuming the Kyurem is Scarf, though, which it probably is if it decided to confidently click Fusion Bolt there. Or, hold on, Keldeo used... Did Keldeo use a move? No, Keldeo did not use a move, so I definitely do think that the Kyurem is probably Scarf, because Keldeo could have definitely Secret Sword and killed him right there. So yeah, Keldeo probably, definitely, I mean, Kyurem is definitely Scarf, because Zuku wouldn't have made such a competent play if it wasn't for the fact that he knew Keldeo, he knew he was faster than like most Keldeos. But yeah, Zuku is now trying to figure out, because assuming he is, assuming he definitely is Scarf, he probably wants to switch out into something else. So he's probably thinking about who to switch out into, because obviously Abomasnow absorbs Spore. Well, actually no, Spore isn't a thing in Gen 5, so he's probably just thinking about who to send in this Focus Punch. It's not Focus Punch, it's Seed Bomb, which means that Cloyster can actually kill it. Well, actually, depends on Lycan's speed. Okay, yeah, he's faster than Cloyster, and Cloyster was leftovers anyway, so I don't think it was really an offensive set. But yeah, here we go. This is most likely offensive Frostlass. I don't think it spikes, because I've heard that Frostlass actually does run offensive in this generation, so can't wait to see. Alright, Substitute with leftovers. I'm not super familiar with like Gen 5, so yeah. He Substitute Blizzard. I guess he's fishing for Cursed Body procs with Substitute, so that's very interesting. Alright, Substitute Disable, even better. I guess that's specifically meant to help deal with Scrafty, because Scrafty usually only runs his stab moves and nothing else. He usually runs either 2 or 1 boosting move, and then usually his stabs, and like maybe one coverage move, but like, it's a pretty decent set. It is the Cobalion, it looks like. Is it him? I'm not sure if it's him, because he hasn't used Focus Blast yet. Yeah, it might not be him, but does send out Keldeo. Frostlass comes in again. Frostlass uses Substitute. The Keldeo does end up knocking out Frostlass. Is that HP Fire? HP Ghost? That's interesting. Not used to seeing that. Maybe it's HP Rock, actually, for Charizard. Actually, yeah, that might be it. Wait, Charizard's not common in this generation, I don't think. Yeah, I don't really know what hidden power this is. I'm gonna guess like HP Ghost maybe for ghost types. I don't really know. But regardless, it's obviously something that hurts Frost less immensely and breaks its substitute. Scrafty once again does not get disabled. Not sure why Lycan stayed in that turn. I think the disable play was very obvious there. But I guess he wanted to sack Scrafty to get some offensive pressure up. It's still anyone's game, but I feel like Lycan definitely still in an advantageous state right now, because he still has his Cobalion, he still has Terrakion, who's at full, and Keldeo is still relatively healthy. Yeah, so can't wait to see what these guys will do. Alright, the Wall Rain comes out, and he eats up a Stone Edge. So Wall Rain is most well known in Gen 5 for obviously being like a really big fat wall, and can just like take a lot of damage and just like stall out a lot of Pokemon really easily. And I'm sure it's no different here. It's probably going to click Protect. Oh no, he subs on the switch out. Interesting. That was actually a very good play. Very good awareness by Zuku. Keldeo is now getting heavily worn down, and Walrein is just stalling him out. And there's nothing Lycan can really do to stop Walrein at this point. He's just going to get chipped down, all the way down to dead. And unfortunately, it looks like Lycan is choiced, so he won't be able to do anything else. Yeah, this is looking really bad for Lycan right now, because Walrein can perfectly stall this out. And there's nothing Lycan can really do to stop him. Alright, yeah, he probably does this until Keldeo dies. So, Walrein once again substitutes, yep. Alright, he switches out into Toxicroak on the Protect, which was a very obvious play. But now Walrein has another turn to Protect, and gets more health. Alright, Toxicroak does get Drain Punch recovery off of this though, so we'll see if Zuku decides to use an offensive move. Probably won't, we'll just use Substitute again. Yeah. And he can still perfectly stall it out because Drain Punch only has 16 PP. So, interesting, he didn't click Protect that time. Alright, he roars him out into Breloom. Breloom's probably not who he ideally wanted to do. I feel like Zuku probably should have kept stalling him out, but I guess he didn't want to run out PP. Alright, now Breloom is the one with Substitute up. Alright, and we already know he's Seed Bomb, so he does end up slightly breaking Walrein, but fortunately Walrein will just roar him out as well. Alright, Terrakion can kill Walrein here, yeah, so Walrein is now dead. Did a decent number to a bunch of the Pokemon on this team, but I don't think it did enough to really make this, to really put Zuku in like a super winnable position. His Keldeo is now heavily weakened, unfortunately, so he probably won't send Keldeo out on this turn. In fact, I don't know who he can safely switch into. I'm not sure if he has a really safe switch in, because I feel like almost everyone dies to one or two moves. We'll see what Lycan decides to choose, because if he goes Keldeo, he ends up sacking it, but he can get offensive pressure off of it, so it might not be terrible. But if he sends in Koba, Koba takes a lot of damage, and you don't really want that chip. He ends up sending out Toxicroak on the Avalanche, which isn't a bad play. Alright, but now Piloswine lives a hit and probably OHKOs with Earthquake, so assuming he has Earthquake, that is. I'm not sure if Piloswines run Earthquake. I think they do, but I don't know Gen 5 super well. He sends out Frostlass on the Drain Punch, not terrible, not terrible. Not sure if Toxicroak has Sucker Punch. Yeah, we don't have a Sucker Punch on that. Frostlass was fishing for a disable there. Alright, and now Keldeo is gone. Frostlass still has its leftovers recovery, but he can't put up a substitute. And we already know all of Frostlass moves, so we're just waiting to find out what Zuku does here. Because Zuku has been known for making really good comebacks, and while he is in a little bit of a bad position right now, I feel like he can still win this. It just comes down to how he plays. Alright, so Stone Edge is going to knock out Frostlass. Alright, so now Zuku is in a hard position. He has to decide whether or not he wants to use Piloswine here and try and pick up a few kills slowly but surely, or if he wants to go Abomasnow. Alright, he goes Abomasnow. Alright, let's see what he does here. Probably, I think Abomasnow does have Focus Blast in this gen, so he might be using that. Alright, he Leech Seeds. So this might be a defensive Leech Seed set. Yeah, that's what it's looking like right now. Alright, Toxicroak clicks Sword Stance, good awareness by Lycan. He is faster, so he probably will kill. Yeah, he kills. And it looks like this might be game. Because Kyurem does obviously get a kill on Toxicroak here. But it doesn't matter because Terrakion, I'm assuming, is Scarf. Or Cobalion. I guess Cobalion is Scarf too. Whichever one, it didn't really matter because we knew he had a Scarfer that was 356. So he was beating out Kyurem regardless. And that's it. That's game. Really good game by Lycan, well played by Zuku as well, using Walrein very effectively, but unfortunately he didn't use it effectively enough to beat out the entire team. But yeah, very good plays by Zuku. I'm very impressed with how he managed to handle this matchup, because it would be a really rough matchup. I mean, it is a rough matchup, especially with Terrakion, Keldeo, Cobalion, especially Choice Scarf Cobalion. That must have been really painful, but he played pretty well, considering the bad circumstances he was in, so very impressive game by both players. Alright, we're gonna wait for the next one. If I had to predict who would play what, I was told that Lycan might take Zuku to Gen 8 just to catch him off guard. I personally don't think he'll do that, especially since I don't think he has been playing a lot in Gen 8, obviously, in Bo3 slot, but I feel like he's probably going to go to, well, Zuku in particular is going to pick probably something he's more comfortable with, so Gen 7, yeah, that's what I was going to say. So, we are in Gen 7, Water versus Dark. It's Keldeo Water versus Dark though, and if you know anything about Gen 7, it's that Keldeo versus Dark is like, it's kind of a bad look, but regardless, we know Zuku is a very talented player and that he is capable of pulling off those clutch matchups, so we'll just see what he does. Lycan has a really odd team though. I think I've seen Slowbro on Psychic a little bit more often than on Water. Not really particularly sure why he has Slowbro on Water, but hey. He's the MPL player, not me, so I'm just gonna assume he's gonna use it as a physically defensive pivot, or oh wait, it's actually just Mega. I'm stupid. Whoops, had a brain fart there, but yeah, it's obviously Mega Slowbro. All right, he's fishing for poisons against Sableye. Not a terrible play because he wants Sableye to take as much chip as possible, as it is one of the most obnoxious Pokemon Dark has to offer. Alright, looks like he won't be getting it though, and Sableye does get the burn off on Toxapex as well as removing its Black Sludge. That's going to be important later on for when Toxapex is trying to wall things. So Zuku's already at a slight advantage in the late game, but let's see how he plays the rest of this, because obviously Lycan is just fishing for poisons. I feel like Zuku can go into Muck here, because there's a good chance that Lycan might not have Scald, but he goes into Tyranitar, who doesn't get poisoned again. T-Tar is probably a defensive set with Stealth Rock, so it's probably going to up here. Yep, he ups. And Lycan does have Skull. Alright. So Zuku was right to not go into Buckalolo right away. Also, I guess Toxapex could potentially have knockoff, so I guess that was kind of a safe play on his part. But I think Toxapex definitely will have... The other two moves are going to be Recover and either Haze or Baneful Bunker. Most likely Haze, because Haze is probably better. But he does have Mantine, so maybe that's his Hazer? Who knows? But yeah, Tyranitar's in. I think he's going to... I don't think he's going to Dragon Dance up, because that's not a set. But I think he might use like Stone Edge to wear down Toxapex a little bit and then like pivot out. Alright, he uses Earthquake. I didn't think he had that. If he had that, I definitely would have said he would have done that, but I didn't think he would have it. But yeah, he chips down Swampert a little bit. Swampert is confirmed leftovers, so we don't have to worry about Mega. It looks like Lycan might actually not have an easy time with this matchup because Slowbro is really weak against Dark teams. So yeah, that's going to be a bit of a struggle. Sableye comes in to stop rocks, potentially from going up, obviously. It looks like he might go on to knock off too, to knock off Swampert's leftovers, and that's devastating for Swampert because he has no recovery. Zuku makes a double out into Greninja, and this is where we make plays. So Greninja could potentially be HP Electric, and that could be a really bad situation if he decides to put in Mantine. He decides to double back into Tyranitar, and it looks like Lycan was definitely predicting the HP Electric, which is a fair play. He clicks rocks against Sableye, but unfortunately he does not get it. He uses Earthquake, Sableye just recovers, and we're back at where we started. He doesn't really want to get knocked off here, because if he gets knocked off, Swampert is very limited in his usability. So he makes he took a little bit of a risk, but I guess he knew in general that Sableye was not going to switch out, because he didn't want to get super weakened to the point where either Keldeo or Greninja could just come in and just revenge kill it, or claim another Mon, so I guess that was a fair play. Alright, Sableye still doing work against this team. Alright, he hard Greninjas on the Toxapex and doesn't get poisoned again, which is really lucky. He hasn't gotten poisoned this entire game, and remember, he does have a 30% chance, so it's very impressive that he hasn't gotten hit by any hacks yet. The hard Ninja was really, really aggressive though. I'm pretty surprised about that. Looks like Toxapex is also getting worn down by Sludge Bomb uses. He sends out Slowbro. Interesting play. He does, Lycan does end up taking the extra sensory, but we don't know if Zuku is a Z move or Specs. He probably is Z move considering the layout of his team, but Specs isn't completely out of the question. It's possible that he could still be that. But yeah, we're just waiting to see what he does next. Because if he's non-choice, he goes for... Oh wait, he probably doesn't have Dark Pulse on this team, because Dark Greninjas usually run Hydro Pump, so yeah, probably doesn't have Dark Pulse. And he is most likely walled by the Slowbro, but who knows, he might be running Dark Pulse on this team. Alright, he sends out Hydreigon on the Scald. Finally gets his first 30% chance proc of the game. And now Hydreigon is burned. No lefties, probably means it's Z move. Alright, we see the Dark Pulse. No Life Orb chip. And it looked like it was relatively okay damage. Mantine hasn't come in either, which I'm pretty shocked about. I thought he would send in Mantine there, but he did not. Alright, he's weakening his Greninja a little bit. for the sake of coverage. Let's see what he does here. He U-turns out, which means he's most likely choice card for Ninja. And he gets Keldeo in for free. So Keldeo's going to take him on here, most likely. He has to make the correct read, though. Alright, he Hydro Pumps on the Muck. Muck actually takes like 0 from that. But if he's Z-move, which he most likely is because he hasn't been taking any, he hasn't been recovering any health from leftovers, he's probably Z-move and he might just unload on Muck right now. And Zuku has to play knowing that. He doesn't really have a ton of switch-ins for Z Hydro Pump, so he has to basically pick which Mon he wants to either risk or... Because that's definitely what has to be going through Zuku's head right now, because there's no other real Z-move user except for Greninja, but Greninja has already confirmed that it's Scarf. Sort of, with U-turn. I don't think he'd be running a Z-move with the U-turn on the set, but who knows? Now, Hydreigon does roost there, so we know it's a stall breaker set, it's not a choice set. And yeah, here we go. Taunt on the defog. Alright, Zuku's making this matchup look a little easy right now. He's been playing it absurdly well, especially with Keldeo. I'm not sure why Lycan didn't try to collect a kill with Keldeo there, but it's up to him. He scalds in front of Hydreigon, which is interesting, because Hydreigon is just going to... Why is he trying to kill off his Mantine? He really needs this, doesn't he? For Greninja, especially. Alright, he tried to bait out the taunt. Okay, not a terrible play, not a terrible play. He U-turns again into Keldeo, presumably. Alright, but he got punished because Mandibuzz has Rocky Helmet, which is very unfortunate for him, because he can't do that play again, most likely. That was actually not a bad momentum play by Lycan at all. That was actually pretty impressive. But yeah, he's most likely going to go to Keldeo, right? I don't think he's going to fear Brave Bird that much, because I don't think that gets run that much in this generation. But it's possible that Zuku could be running it just to deal with Keldeo, because as I mentioned before, Keldeo is one of the biggest problems Dark has to deal with. I mean, yeah, that Dark has to deal with. And he is running extrasensory Greninja to possibly deal with it, but I'm not super sure if he's also just using Brave Bird Mandibuzz to also deal with it. It's possible he could be, but I don't think for sure he will be. But anything's possible in MPL, so Lycan is probably trying to figure out whether or not it's worth going into Keldeo right now and taking the Wrap shit. He goes into Slowbro. Interesting play. So he starts Calm Minding. So yeah, we already know it's going to be Mega. So he might Mega Evolve right here to try and kill Hydreigon. And obviously Mega Evolving is like really important. Alright, so he Calm Minds again. That's kind of... I'm not sure if I agree with that play. Is he like trying to sack it so he can get Keldeo in again? Yeah, I'm not sure if I really understood that play, but yeah, I guess he was just trying to... He was trying to get Keldeo in. Alright, and for some reason Zuku roosts again. That was kind of weird. Don't know why he did that, but yeah, Keldeo definitely picks up the kill this turn. There's no way it doesn't. It just kind of clicks Secret Sword. I think Zuku might try to use that to his advantage and might go Sableye, reading the Secret Sword, but it's possible that he might just stay in just to sack Hydreigon. Even though Hydreigon has been doing a lot of work and is pretty important in this matchup for beating Toxapex and Mantine. So he might not do that, but regardless, he's definitely going to be doing some amount of damage to him. Basically what I'm trying to say is that Lycan kills something here. So So T-Tar comes out. We see another Calm Mind from Lycan. Alright, so Zuku was clearly doing that just to chip down Keldeo and also just sack his Tyranitar because he doesn't really need it that much anymore. So Tyranitar is gone now. And Keldeo is taking more chip. This chip is really important, by the way, because his Greninja is obviously going to come in and like try to revenge kill it. And I think that's why Lycan might have actually tried to Calm Mind again to try and like beat out the Greninja switch-in. And it was a smart counterplay by Zuku to just put down Sand and actually just make it so that it's harder for Lycan to actually take another extra sensory from Greninja, which is a pretty good play. So Zuku's probably calcing whether or not extra sensory kills right now. It most likely does because he decided to go right into Greninja. Alright, we see the Z Bloom Doom come out. I was actually expecting Shattering Psych, but doesn't really matter that much. The Bloom Doom does kill Mantine, and Lycan's Mantine is now dead. Lycan has to be careful during this play, because this might be the last time Greninja is able to come in if he decides to U-turn. He Ice Beams. Alright, great play by Lycan. But unfortunately, it will be probably his last turn coming in. Unless he decides to switch out this turn. Because switching out this turn into Keldeo is definitely safe, but it's also unfortunately risky. Because Mandibuzz definitely clicks Roost here, or switches out. That's fine too. Alright, and now his Greninja is dead. Oh, never mind, it's not. I forgot it's the last turn of Sand. He keeps clicking Ice Beam, and I think we already know it's Scarf. That was kind of a weird play by Zuku. I guess he was predicting that he would switch out into Keldeo. But I guess Lycan just, like, kinda doesn't care right now, because he knows that Mandibuzz is low, so now his only worry is, like, pretty much gone for the most part, but I'd still say he needs to be careful with his Greninja. Alright, let's see. So, Lycan's probably deciding whether or not he wants to switch out into either Swampert or Keldeo right now. I'd probably say, oh, he goes into Pex. Not a terrible play, Pex is fine here. But it does invite Hydreigon in, and also Mandibuzz to an extent, but he can make a dangerous double to, like, bait those options out. He doesn't do that, though. He clicks Recover to keep Pex healthy, which I guess was his goal this entire play. Zuku got the Recycle off, though, and that's pretty good for him. Alright, Hydreigon's now out. Taunt is now in session. Alright, one flinch. That flinch actually mattered quite a bit, because now he has to hard out into another Pokemon. Greninja does die from the rocks, unfortunately. But Keldeo now comes in, and Keldeo now once again has to pick a Pokemon that it wants to kill. I'm still thinking that this Keldeo is Z move, for the record. I'm not sure if it's actually anything else. But yeah, pretty sure this Keldeo is definitely Z move. I don't think it's Choice Specs, because I don't think it's been doing Choice Specs damage. Because I feel like it would have done more to, Sorry, I got lost. Pretty sure the main reason, yeah, it would have done more damage to, Muckalola with the Hydro Pump, I feel, if it was Specs. So, I definitely feel like it's a Z move. Alright, so, also, yeah, it's been using Calm Mind, so that's another reason why. I don't know. Is it like Hydro Pump? No, wait, it's obviously Hydro Pump. What am I saying? Yeah, he beats the Muck, Greninja comes out, he has to switch out because he doesn't want to lose his Keldeo, because he wants to beat Sableye, obviously, because he can't break Sableye without Keldeo. Lycan definitely has to switch out here. He doesn't really have a lot of good switch-ins though, because his Slowbro is getting kind of weakened right now, and Zuku has revealed that he is actually Grassy with Z. He did waste it on the, well, not really waste, but he did use it on the Mantine, and Mantine's already dead, so I don't think Grass Knot actually does a ton to Slowbro, but it probably still does a decent amount of damage because it's stab. So, let's just look at Slowbro real quick. Oh, it does 80. Okay, yeah, no. He's probably dead if he decides to use Grass Knot. So, I think Lycan is actually in a really bad position. I think he actually loses here. So Lycan's probably counting if extrasensory kills right now, and it definitely does, because it's stab, and Zuku's really confident that it's going to kill. So yeah, I think Lycan kind of just forfeits here, because at this point, he doesn't really win. So yeah, he dies. Whoa! He lived on 1. Okay, so that was definitely a roll, and that makes like one of the earlier plays he made like really questionable. Okay, so he's gonna click a Z move here, I think, because you don't want to risk the miss. You definitely don't want to risk the miss. Yeah, he clicks the Z move there. That was a fair play. That was an absolutely fair play. Alright, so he's gonna click Hydro Pump here. Hydro Pump should kill. Alright, it doesn't kill. But he should have a Pokemon that's faster than Sableye. I think Swampert. Actually, I think Lycan loses. Yeah, he does lose. That was actually really bad for him. He needed that kill, because now he doesn't outspeed and kill Hydreigon, and he doesn't really wear it down at all. So yeah, that's kind of bad. And Hydreigon is burned, so it can't even get toxic. Yeah, no, it's not looking good at all for Lycan. I think Lycan does definitely end up losing here, which is really unfortunate, but Zuku did play extremely well and had a really good Greninja set to beat this matchup, so... And Lycan did have kind of a dark weak team, because he was using Slowbro. I feel like if he wasn't using Slowbro, he probably would have had a better time beating this type. Then again, his other options were like Gyarados and Sharpedo, which aren't super good, so... there is that. But I definitely do. I think Lycan's definitely trying to think of like a win path right now, but I don't think there is one for him. I just don't think there is, because he obviously goes like Swampert to like outspeed and kill Sableye. But oh wait, he goes Slowbro. Oh, maybe he's trying to spam Calm Mind here. Yeah, he might be trying to spam Calm Mind. And yeah. That was his play. He was gonna try and spam Calm Mind, and like try and beat Hydreigon like that. Unfortunately, though, Zuku is now in with his Hydreigon, so he has to use whatever move he has right now and just Mega Evolve, because he can't do another play like that. Or maybe he can. Actually, yeah, he probably can. But Zuku does do the move. It flinches. You hate to see it. But yeah, Zuku does win this match, and that was a pretty impressive play. Zuku was not in favor of winning this match whatsoever, but he did pull it off. There were quite a bit of hacks during this game, but nothing like super disgusting. Well, I mean, the rolls were definitely really bad during this game, but I feel like there are other factors that just weren't as bad. Alright, we do see Hydreigon just beating his entire team, because as I said, it's Stall Breaker, so there's not really a ton Lycan can do to stop this. Yeah, he ups to beat out Sableye, which isn't terrible play. And yeah, Toxapex is obviously going to get walled by Hydreigon. There's nothing he can really do to stop this, so... yeah. Very good game by Zukushiku. He was not in favor to win this at all. But he managed to pull it off, which is really impressive, because it is not easy to win this matchup as Dark at all. But especially when there's a Keldeo, but he did it. He did it, and like many of the players that I have interviewed have said, you can click off the game and think that Zuku is lost, but you can click back on and suddenly he's won, and he's done just that during this game. So very impressive stuff by Zukushiku. And Lycan definitely didn't play well. He played pretty well. He played really well offensively, trying to constantly aggressively get Keldeo in and like try and force Zuku to like either choke or like sack him on. But Zuku played really smart the entire time and just constantly weakened. I feel like there's one play that was really questionable on Lycan's part though, because like he had +2 Keldeo in front of a Greninja, and I guess what he might have been thinking was that it was probably gonna have Z move on him, and I guess Z move is definitely something to fear, because I think he did end up using Z Bloom Doom that turn, didn't he? Yeah, he might have done that actually. So that was a pretty good play on his part. But yeah, Lycan and Zuku played a really amazing game. I don't expect anything less from these two really talented players. But yeah, last game might be Oraz, but Lycan is choosing, and yet it's Gen 8. Okay, let me get in there. Alright, so it's water versus water, except, okay, actually, yeah, this is a weird, okay, so we got, alright, so this is a mouthful, but we got dual webs teams. We got webs water on both sides. One has Tentacruel spinning, the other has Toxapex and Rain pivoting. I feel like the person that has the advantage here is definitely... Nah, it's hard to say, but I think Zuku has the advantage here. And I only say that because his pre-Marina set could be really good. But yeah, I think Zuku definitely does have potential to win here, because Crawdon kind of just like deletes a lot of the defensive Pokemon that Lycan has access to, and Sharpedo can obviously like sweep this team if it gets weakened enough, because he doesn't have priority. He does have Rain though, which should help a little bit, but the lack of priority and should really determine whether or not Sharpedo sweeps or not. But he's sending Tentacruel first thing. Both these teams are really interesting because I haven't seen Webs Water that often in this MPO. Tentacruel does get sent out, spikes are set up, but Toxapex can just get rid of those really easily, so I'm not sure what the point of that play was. But I'm gonna assume it's just to force in Toxapex and probably make an offensive play and go into Crawdon immediately. That might be what he's going for, but he has to switch out anyway because Tentacruel might die next turn, especially if he takes a confusion hit. So Zuku wants to play carefully here, because if he loses his Tentacruel, then Lycan can just set up rocks and like offensively pressure his team really easily. Also Keldeo doesn't really do a ton against this team because he does have Primarina and Araquanid's still healthy. Alright. We do see Tentacruel click knockoff here and gets rid of Pelipper's choice specs, which is pretty impressive that Tentacruel was actually able to survive 2 of those. But yeah, Tentacruel is dead now, so Toxic Spikes are permanently gone, and Pex can just at any time get rid of them. Let's see who puts out though. Zuku. He puts out Primarina. Primarina is gonna obviously like eat. It's gonna eat whatever hurricanes that Lycan can throw out. Toxapex comes in on the U-turn. Primarina subs up, and I believe the set is usually Calm Mind. No. Wait. Yeah, it's Calm Mind, but it's not Rest Talk. Is it just Combine? I think it might just be Combine 2 moves. But yeah, Pex can't break this, obviously. So he's kind of just stuck doing whatever. Oh, also Toxic Pex are really good against Zuku now. And he does happen to be a substitute Psychic. And he's probably either Moonblast or a Water move. Most likely Moonblast, because I feel like you would want Fairy Stab on your Water team. But, I'm not the MVL player, so we'll just see what other move he has. Most likely is Moonblast, though. Toxapex is going to switch out thanks to its eject button. Lycan's probably going to pick Araquanid. Either Araquanid or Pelipper. I feel like Araquanid would be kind of risky because you don't really, like... I don't think he survives a 2-hit KO from Primarina's stab moves. Unless it's Assault Vest, which it probably isn't. Because I'm pretty sure both of these guys are like Sticky Webs. He might go Araquanid, but I'm not sure. Because this is kind of a big ball. This is like one of the reasons why I said Zuku had the advantage, because Primarina is just so good against water. Alright, he Liquidations, and Primarina's Bulk does allow him to not do that. Yeah. Zuku obviously is going to realize that he can't do that. What is he doing though? Alright. I guess he's trying to bait out a misplay in like webs or something. I think that might be what he's trying to do here. But I'm not sure if you really want to try and go for that play against Lycan, because he's a very seasoned player and he knows exactly what you're going to try and do. So that's kind of not a great play, unless he has like a pinch berry he's trying to go for. And I think Lycan is also thinking about that too. I'm not sure which pinch berry would actually help him out the most though, because the Slack obviously won't do enough for speed, because Primarina is still really slow, even with a Slack berry. And even with a Pitaya berry, wouldn't that just be pointless because you could just combine again? As Draining Kiss. That is pretty good. Okay, but unfortunately Lycan does get the defense drop, and that's kind of bad for Zuku. I feel like Lycan can definitely set webs here, though. He does not set webs, unfortunately. He gets another defense drop. It's crazy. Lycan does lose his Araquanid, though, and I feel like along with that, he might lose the match. Because Draining Kiss kind of solos this entire team. Oh wait, actually he has -2, so Barraskewda just comes in and revenge kills it with either Psychic Fangs or something else. Yeah, but Barraskewda, I'm pretty sure it kills this thing now, because Primarina wasn't physically good in the first place. Okay, yeah, that hack's definitely mattered. Oh god. That's actually so bad for Lycan. It's so bad for Zuku, because he definitely won here. He won here if he didn't get defense dropped. Lycan has to go for a safe play. He cannot sack Barraskewda here, otherwise he's literally throwing. So he has to go for the safe play and like click Psychic Fangs or Poison Jab if he has it. He has to click something that isn't like one of his resisted moves. And Zuku obviously wants to switch out, but like he doesn't. The Psychic Fangs and LO damage definitely does kill Primarina. And now Zuku's in a really bad position. Yeah, that hack's definitely mattered. Even though I do kind of feel like Barraskewda might have been able to beat, he might have been able to beat Primarina at that range, even without. I'll calc that later. What was it at? Like 66% or something? Let me just go to the last turn. Yeah, it was at like 66%. So like, I'll just go calc that later, just for reasoning. Just for my own sake. A little bit now. Sharpedo is in now. I think Lycan just goes to Toxapex here, because well actually no, Psychic Fangs still does a lot. And I think he might be specially defensive Pex, because that's been more common lately. Oh. a weird play by Zuku. I guess he was trying to expect Toxapex to come in or something, and he decided not to click Protect first turn. That was kind of an odd play, because I feel like you would always want to click Protect. But yeah, he didn't. And it looks like they're saying they're GG's, so I guess Zuku knows that the game is lost. And it kinda is, because Lycan still has his Pelipper, he still has Keldeo. Oh, and he had Toxic on side, but to potentially beat out Primarina, so yeah. But as usual, Zuku's being a good sport about everything. Alright, let's see how this goes. So, Araquanid is in. He obviously just sends in Toxapex here, because Araquanid doesn't do anything to that mon. He might double into Crawdon to try and get the try and call out the Toxapex. He does not. Puts up Sticky Web. He spams Liquidation, I guess trying to get a defense drop, like how Lycan got defense drop against him. Very funny. Lycan is going to start hazing though to try and prevent that play from happening. So he does go into Toxapex again. I mean, he goes into Crawdon. Like I said he was. He clicks Knockoff. Pex doesn't take that much damage because he already lost his eject button, and that helps him beat Crawdon a little bit easier. So yeah, yeah, Pex walls Crawdon at this rate, and he will die from toxic damage. So yeah, that's a thing. And Keldeo will also slowly die as the time goes on. Keldeo will also slowly die once it comes in. And Araquanid, it's the same story. Alright, Crawdon's dead. Araquanid is now in. Lycan is probably going to start going for Haze after this turn. Alright, yeah, he got the Liquidation drop, but he did haze that Liquidation drop away. Alright, and it looks like Araquanid's gonna be dead next turn, I think. Okay, he might be dead next turn, because as we already know from the last game, the percentages aren't always super accurate, so he might be dead. Alright, he does live on 1, but it won't really matter because Pex just clicks Recover. Excuse me. But yeah, this game is as good as over. Alright, and the Araquanid is revealed to have Magic Coat to beat out opposing Taunters. And at this point it's GG because Toxapex is not burned and can't really take any sort of bad damage. But yeah, pretty good games by Lycan and Zuku. Unfortunately, the last game came down to Hex, but it was pretty well played. Both of these teams are really unique, actually. I'm actually so surprised that I saw like standard water teams being brought for once. Pretty nice stuff, pretty nice stuff. I'm also happy to see Zuku bringing Sharpedo. I haven't seen that mon enough on the ladder, so it's pretty good to see it at the highest level of Monotype play. But yeah, pretty good games from both players. If you guys enjoyed this kind of I have to do the calculation on Primarina to see if you know who killed. But yeah, good job Lycan. You did very, very well. But let me go check real quick. So I don't know the exact Primarina IVs or exact EVs it had. but I'm gonna assume it might be this standard set, I don't know. But Barraskewda with a Life Orb. Alright, so if it was fully defensive, which it could have been, it probably could have been, Barraskewda did not kill. If it wasn't fully defensive and it just had a lot of HP, which I think it definitely did have bulk, it had some sort of bulk invested on it, it didn't kill at 66% either. And even with no bulk and none of that, it didn't kill at 66% and he just won. So yeah, Lycan got a little lucky, which is unfortunate, but hey, what are you gonna do? It's Pokemon. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoy this content. Like and subscribe for more. And this has been Namornan, and I'm signing off.